Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship. We're currently in the middle of a series between Team Liquid and Tricked Esports, and Tricked Esports is up 2-0. Let me repeat that. Tricked Esports is up 2-0 over Team Liquid, and you joined a heck of a time.
I'm hyped. I'm
As
really
you should
excited. Team Liquid has an 0-2 here, and we just had them back from the slump. They've been talking about it the entire time. Feels so much better. We're on fire again. We improved our drafting. We improved communication. Everything is flowing, and then they go up against Tricked, and all of a sudden they're 0-2.
It's good, man, and I'm happy to see Make here on Assassins, people that deal damage here, because it really seems to really fit his playstyle. We saw a lot of time in the last couple weeks playing healers here. We saw him, I think, on Oriel once, saw him on Rhaegar a lot, and him being on the Grey main and also the Genji has been pretty big in terms of game-changing for the team.
Genji is a very big pick for him, but we've seen him also on other heroes now and really shine in these roles. So yeah, I'm ready for their third game. I really want to see what they can pull off now, because Trick taking 3-0 against Team Liquid would be crazy. That would be insane.
My brain would melt, straight up. Like, the standings in HGC Europe is crazy. The gap between the top 3 and the bottom 5 continues to get smaller and smaller and smaller week after week. Let's go to game number 3. Which battleground are we going to be playing on between our teams? It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity. Team Liquid sticking with the first pick.
So we have all of a sudden Battlefield taken, and Trick has been strong on this map too. I'm very impressed by what Trick showed so far. Of course, there were a couple of mistakes in the games. You can always nitpick, especially in hindsight is always 20/20. But the way that they play to the strength of their own draft is fantastic. You quite often see teams that draft a strong combo, don't really understand where their power spike is, what the strength is in the draft, and Trick just doesn't show none of this. They know exactly what they want. They know when they can take team fights, when they should focus on the macro on the map. Liquid had a couple of very good moments here too, but overall, it's really Trick driving the agenda, and that impresses me.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about watching EU drafting in particular. When I first started in this this season, one of the things that really stood out to me is that drafting is very linear, and you do find those power spikes and such. Sometimes we don't see our teams fully capitalize on it, but right now, Trick Esports is capitalized on their draft, and they're moving to battlegrounds that they are strong on. And I love that, seeing that here in the rotations and going to battlegrounds that you are great for to get those victories.
If I would call out one, I don't want to call it a weakness, but one thing that could maybe even be a bit improved on the side of Trick is that once they commit their cooldowns, they sometimes seem to not be on the same page when it comes to the hero they want to attack. It happened twice. Once they were trying to go for Lunara, and not everybody was trying to take her down. In the end, she fell, but that could have been a save. And it also happened when Muradin was attacked. Apparently not everybody was on the same page when it came to, okay, do we commit everything for him, or do we just put in the free damage? If they also get that down, it would make them even harder to beat, and they already looked insane here, so I am super impressed by them. But we know how strong Team Liquid can be, and they will after the short break. Now look at the game and say, guys, focus on it right now. This is our game. Here's where we change it, and here's where the reverse sweep begins.
We'll see what Team Liquid will do to adjust and get a win in this series here, as they're going to go ahead and ban out the Genji once again. Medivh banned out for Trick Esports. And will Team Liquid stick with the Oriel? The answer is no. They're going straight into a new Barak. I think Cocoon has been pretty powerful here for Trick Esports, and so far it has been.
Oh yeah, it has been absolutely fantastic. So Cocoon, big part of the comps that we've seen so far. And as you said, Oriel is available. Trick could decide that they want to go into the double support with her, but they're starting with the Uther. Even though we have the level 7 talent, the Guardian of Ancient Kings, slightly nerfed now, we still see them with Uther at this point, and they have a Grey main. So a big priority on one of the heroes that can chunk down that Immortal.
Grey main on Uther here. Yes, working on that Immortal, but also great for burning down the tanks that are on the way. The Cursed Bullet's been really pivotal here for Trick Esport. Now, this is a battleground that typically you don't see Gul'dan on as much, but so far Gul'dan has been pretty powerful here for Trick. They continue to get in spots where they are punishing these double supports, and it seems like he's one of the answers that they're using here to stop Team Liquid from being effective with the Oriel.
Yeah, and not only the Oriel, the one thing that is a bit curious to me is if we're going to see, depending on what Team Liquid drafts, I wouldn't even mind seeing the Gul'dan again. I think it is such a pivotal hero for them. The Horrifiers made so much of a difference here. But of course, Battlefield of Eternity has its own rules, with it only having the 2 lanes, and you have a very different priority when it comes to the objective. Normally, we do not see him here as much. But Malthael is making an appearance here today, and that's also going to be interesting for the solo lane, the potential solo lane, and also, of course, for the Immortal pressure per se.
Yep, you spoke about the special rules for BOE and Malthael and Li Ming are right underneath those rules. They fit in. Li Ming with the poke to help out, but also Malthael's poke is pretty devastating too, being able to drop on that mark constantly on those Immortal phases and just slowly burn them down. This puts Strict Esports in a bit of a weird spot. They now have to think about going for engage and trying to force fights over their opponents who can dance around them consistently.
Another hero that we haven't seen yet is also Vala. So she could be a ban. We have on the side of Tricked only, we have one damage dealer already, but if you grab a Vala with this for Crosby, then you find yourself in a spot where you have an insane amount of damage output against the Immortals. So if that happens, Liquid needs to be a bit careful about how much time they give Tricked on the Immortal, because within seconds they could chunk that down to half health.
Something to talk about is we have seen Malthael be countered by triple backline before in the past year on this battleground. And that is something that could occur here with Greymane and Volo grabbing another backline and working on it. Is that something that Trick Esports can play? You have your Maka and Crosby in particular. We'll have to see, but something to worry about with Malthael being grabbed early.
As the Vala ban, okay, I like that. So, as I said, Vala plus Greymane would be a bit insane for the objective pressure. Liquid agrees and bans her out here, so we have to see another hero on the side of Crosby. We have seen him on Cassia occasionally too, so if they feel that against Malthael, locking him down and getting the Cassia damage in, that would help. That would, of course, be an option. Oftentimes you see her still with the Oriel, and they already grabbed the Uther, so still a question, double support, yes, no. And that's something that we're going to see answered in a few seconds. After they ban Rhaegar, if they pick now also a quick Oriel.
There's a Gul'dan.
That's the Gul'dan again.
Gul'dan and Stitches grabbed for Tricked Esports. Team Liquid will have to move into their support soon here. What do they want to pick up for support? Will they just go down the Karazim route? Am I missing somebody?
I mean, they could still pick Oriel. Question is, of course, where do you get the hope from?
I mean, Malthael is a decent battery, but would it be enough?
I'm not so sure on that myself. If you poke with Li Ming, of course, you get a fair amount once the cooldowns are ready, but that's the big problem, that you have just these little episodes where you get a burst and that's about it. So for the support, we have definitely different options for Team Liquid. Splendor, one of the best supports that we have in the European scene for sure, so they have a fair amount of options here. But the Rhaegar ban was definitely something that forces Team Liquid now to think a little bit more about which support it's going to be, since, as you said, Oriel might still work, but it's not really the optimal pick here.
Maybe? Okay, it's Karazim. Yeah. So Karazim and Dehaka will be in the rotation. Oh, interesting. Will Neuro be on the Dehaka here? And Darkmark will be on the Malthael?
Yeah, we could definitely see that.
Because they both have interchanged that out there. So, all right, we do have DPS available for Team Liquid. Can move in, have that Karazim. Arthas will be the final pickup for Tricked Esports. And it's all about BOE here, as Team Liquid will be fighting to stay in the series.
So usually when they play Malthael, it's Darkmark on the hero. So I would to see that happen again. But yeah, Arthas was another ban that Team Liquid was contemplating for a bit when they were banning out Vala then. And I would say that if they don't ban Vala, then we are very likely to see her over Gul'dan for Crosby. Right now they have to deal, of course, with the Arthas there instead. But definitely a really interesting setup here. It's like the entire time I just try to wrap my head around the fact that we have a 2-0 right now heading into this. And Liquid, they have to be really worried about this. I would be.
Yeah, especially for the draft for both of our teams. This is actually a draft from both sides that I can see do well in this battleground in particular. You have Tricked Esports with a 4-man defense that can set up and have Greymane peel off. Greymane can rotate in. And then you have Poke from Team Liquid on the left side here with Malthael and Dehaka potentially on the off lanes, being able to soak up. It's all about who can make the great shot calling here for this battleground, which gets me excited because BOE, man, when shot calling is done right, it's exciting.
For me, it's really all about Malthael. And once he, even after the nerfs, if he hits that 16 and goes in with all the damage, he can really chunk everyone down. And then you have a Li Ming behind him who starts to get kill after kill, gets the resets in there too. And Malthael, of course, is fantastic if you're going up against hit point heavy tanks. And what do we have? We have an Arthas and we have an Stitches, and they are the embodiment of having a hit point heavy tank. So Malthael is going to be the game changer. Question, of course, always, can they hit that level 16 on even footing with Tricked, or will Tricked run away with the advantage early on?
Well, it's game 3 time here. Can Tricked Esports finish out the series with a 3-0, or will we see Team Liquid start mounting a comeback?
Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Team Liquid is down 0-2 in the best of 5. Tricked has brought the pain, and now they are, of course, trying to start a reverse sweep here with Blumbi on Anubarak, Norok on Dehaka, Splendor on Charism, Hazorps on Li Ming, and Darkmark on Malthael.
On the right side in the red, Tricked eSport, Crosby on Gul'dan, Alex the Pro G on Arthas, Make on Greymane, Nape playing Uther, and Rimmer will be on Stitches.
The 2-0 lead is insane for Tricked eSports. As we said before, the last 2 times they met Liquid was both times victorious in HGC. And it was always a close series, but if anything, most people expected Team Liquid to have a more dominant series here today, and the exact opposite is happening right now. Can Liquid start with a reverse sweep? As we see the pressure up at the top, a 5-man push, but Liquid reacting immediately, pushing them back, and Darkmark now taking the lane. So
Darkmark will hang up here, be able to do just fine here. In the bottom, Dehaka's floating around for the moment. Make was almost get out here in the middle, but we'll see how our teams will go ahead and hold the lane. Darkmark was actually baiting Nape here for a stun, and Nape steps forward. He gets baited here. He gets focused down, and he's going to take taken out. Stitches as well being hit.
yeah, Liquid going in, getting the first kill of the game here, playing a lot more aggressive at this point. Down to the bot lane, on the other hand, we have the double split, and yes, Charism is rotating over, but let's face it, he won't be able to do a whole lot.
No, he won't be able to do too much against that. He just looks scary with his fist for a little bit here. The turret falls down, no quarter health.
Yeah, the interesting part was that Trick moved back with the 2 heroes they had on the lane. They could have easily taken the tower, but they weren't quite sure how many heroes actually split off. If it's only the Charism, they would have no problem whatsoever to ignore him for those few seconds they needed to drop the tower. But there was always the threat that all of a sudden the Haka appears, that we have Malthael coming in, so they decided to play it safe.
With Malthael disappearing, yep, playing safe with the choice for them. As Rimmer will take some damage here on the top left, but Splendor himself also gets poked out by Crosby. And that Gul'dan, man, has been quite fierce today as it continues to really keep Team Liquid at bay. Now, Immortal Phase coming up soon. Hang on, Darkmark in trouble. Is Make going to be able to get it? He does. He slashes. And that's going to be a turret. Nurok comes in for help, but he's too late.
Yeah, at least he can soak experience now, but still, that was a good kill here for Tricked at a great time in the game too, so they can start focusing on the opponent's Immortal if they wanted to, but what they are really up to is attempting to get level 4 for themselves by dropping the second tower at the bot lane.
And they're going to get the turret. Not quite 4, but close. They move over and start defending their Immortal. We'll see if they'll be able to peel off teammates to head up towards that Immortal Phase. 4-3. Nice little lead here for the Make. The main focus for Team Liquid as he's the main damage DPS.
Hook is hitting and he lands that, but the follow-up damage isn't there. And yeah, I can only agree with the tweet here that we just saw a second ago. Europe is looking stronger than ever. The gap is definitely closing between the top and our mid-tier teams. And Tricked is showcasing that very impressively. Hook once again, but this time Alex is not. First of all, Rema didn't hit the hook, and Alex also wasn't ready for the root.
Howling Blast. Make doing damage here. Blumby's low. Can Make get it? Not quite, but Blumby does have to retreat while Splinter moves forward.
But him getting punished at the front is such a problem. They don't have a main tank right now. Norok is also on the run. Everyone on the side of Team Liquid is in trouble here, and the poke still continues, especially by Crosby.
And Team Liquid so far has been dodging these hooks. Have any of these actually connected? Tricked would be in a large lead to start moving in for the Immortal. So good job here by Team Liquid, staying at range and making sure not to get hooked, but still, they are getting bullied around a little bit here.
And both of the teams are trying to soak the lanes as well. We down to the bot lanes, the Arthurs making that rotation over and over again to take the waves down, and up to the top lane, Gul'dan moves in to make sure that they're not missing out on any experience there. Darkmark is also eating a lot of damage now from Crosby. So there's no massive focus on the Immortals just yet, only a bit of poke happening. The side soak is super important. And here comes the hook that they need. Lockdown, not there yet. Hazard used his blink already and goes down finally as Alex moves in. And this is the kill that can tip it all.
There we go, Grammy will jump on top of that Immortal, and they're going to burn it down quickly. Charism just now jumping on the opposing Immortal, and they're going to be way behind here in terms of the DPS. It's going to be a nice 5k health advantage here for Tricked eSport.
Yeah, that's the halftime show in favor of Trick, doing well so far. Li Ming now on the way back. The teleport there, trying to save after the hook, just not successful enough. Needed someone to peel. Was a nice blind hook that we saw on the side of Rema. They are going to win the first Immortal. It's a 4,500 hit point shield roughly, so they will get some momentum with it. But in experience, both teams are still quite even. But Trick is now likely to hit the early level 7.
Yep, they'll be able to push in here now. Of course, not bad news for Team Liquid quite yet. their spikes do start to come online for Malthael and, of course, Li Ming as the talents start to come in. Li Ming in particular at level 7 gets the ability to really start working in team fights, bringing that calamity damage there and hope to start setting up the resets. And, of course, Malthael post-10 becomes quite the threat. But for now, Trick Esports is taking the advantage of their early game composition, and they are moving in. They are looking for an Immortal. They bring all 5 up here as they want this fort.
And they get the kill. Malthael is down. The Haka gets the bot lane soak, but up to the top. Malthael is out, and that means it's a 5 versus 3. So we have Trick just pushing in heavily. And they easily take the first fort here with the Immortal. No problem whatsoever. They are had an experience, and they take an entire level lead right now as Arthas moves down to the bot lane to at least get some soak and make sure that their Haka is not completely ravaging that wall.
Be able to get an entire wall here. They can start working on mercenaries, and in fact, they're going to grab the ones to the very north at the moment, keeping up with it. Seems like Trick Esports are on the verge of beating another one of the top 4. King Slayers confirmed? I don't know, man. We have to wait for them to get the victory, but you can definitely start talking about it.
Yeah, and also the interesting part is that Snitch already calls it the top 4. It's not about the big 3 anymore. We're having the top 4 here with Expert now pushing farther and farther into the top ranks. But he is definitely right.
Yeah.
Trick, they made that play against Team Expert already in this season, and they were able to take them down with a 3 and 2. But this looks way more dominant than what we've seen Trick do against Experts.
Hook comes out, Rimmer will miss it, Splinter's fine here, and Blumby will take the opportunity to engage. They turn around, but his engage will be his demise as Blumby gets burned.
Trick is looking insane right now. They are ahead in experience by a level, even with the Haka, the Global being on the side of Team Liquid.
Hook.
Another hook hits
Stun.
home, the stun is in, the root as well, and another kill. Trick is just running away with this game.
Team Liquid is a level and a half away from level 10, while Trick Esports is about to be a quarter level away with the Immortal spawning here, and they are in a dire position. Remember, if they lose this map, they lose this series.
And guys, I can once again only encourage you, join the conversation on Twitter, hashtag HGC. Let us know what you think about the development here, because this is crazy. And also, not forget, we have more platforms than only Twitter out there. There's also Reddit with the Heroes of the Storm subreddit, where there's always a thread where people are discussing the results, and there's a lot of discuss as Karazim falls again. Remma, hook after hook after hook connects at this point.
And notice that we have yet to get a level 10 here for Arthas. Okay, it becomes the Army of the Dead. I was wondering if they were going to attempt to just try and get a massive Immortal and go for an all-in push. They go ahead and side against it, but they still have a 3/4 advantage over their opponents with this level 10. They easily burn through the halftime show of the Immortal, and they'll be able to set up for the next phase and potentially have a full shield.
And remember what we talked about during the draft. Malthael becomes the scariest once he is 16. Will Liquid arrive at 16? And so far, it just doesn't look likely. Another lockdown, another kill. Malthael is down, stun after stun. The Divine Storm hits, and Trick is just getting kills whenever they want to. It looks effortless at this point.
I mean, they're that far ahead. They're making it work. I mean, they instantly stun the Malthael. And Team Liquid will get 10 before the Immortal. But Trick can push in and go for a victory on this push if they are able to coordinate another kill. You mentioned it's been effortless for them. If they get one more kill, it could be an easy game.
Smexy Style earlier talked about the series, and he said that he actually thought at the beginning of the season that Trick would be one of the teams headed for the Crucible. And he was as well blown away by the performance here and really surprised how well Trick played against Team Liquid here. And looking at the game, the third game right now, we have 7 kills against 1. Trick is getting them whenever they want to. They set Remma Ball up to the side for another hook. Darkmook is once again alone here, trying to jump out, gets stunned once. Here comes immediately Li Ming. Hazu looks for the kill. Maybe now. Crosby is low, but the first one to die is Greymane. Cooldown follows, and Liquid is getting the resets. Here comes the aggression that we expect from them.
Yes, they hit level 10 and they go in for the fight. Alex the Prodigy is fighting here, gets Li Ming low, but the palm comes out, and there it is. Team Liquid shows some signs of life here. Now they have to defend the Immortal, which they can easily do, but Trick Esports loses out on multiple members in that fight.
Trick definitely stopped cold with this one, and this is the Team Liquid that we expected heading into the series. Ruthlessly exploiting advantages, coordinating team fights, and dropping one target after another. But look at the situation in the game. Trick is still ahead. They took both of the forts down, they opened the map up, they broke through the wall at the bottom keep, whereas Trick themselves, they haven't lost anything from a structural point of view just yet. So Liquid with a good team fight, but they still have a lot of work to do if they want to win this game.
Uphill battle, but definitely one they can climb up here with their keep still being alive. Trick eSport hoping to keep the advantage forward, though, as they push in this top. Looking for keep walls, any openings they can get so they can move towards level 13. But 3 people on the bottom, 4 Team Liquid, Trick can siege for free.
They even move away from the camp. They don't even take the camp. If they take the camp at this point, also Trick knows what's happening and they can simply push through. So the camp hasn't been taken. They needed to defend first. They still lose one of the towers. Again the hook, but this time Splendor is faster. Yeah, Uther didn't get the stun. If Uther gets the stun here and Alex follows up with a Howling Blast, and we have another dead Charism if he can't get the palm in. But this time he dashes out so that he didn't even have to use a cooldown.
Darkmok, Blomby, and crew come in with a big concave. They're trying to get a fight here before 13 hits. We're going to have the Impale hitting on top of Stitches, but Blomby gets focused down, and the palm isn't procced. He charges out.
He charges out, gets knocked down once again. He still has a shield. Army is used immediately. The cocoon comes out, locking Arthas into play. Here comes the Li Ming damage. Marker is low, incredibly low, about to fall. Does not get out. He falls first, but Darkmok is also in trouble on his Malthael. It's a 1-for-1, and Blomby still on the run, as is Darkmok.
Yes, the health bars are much lower for Team Liquid, and they'll have to back up, group up for heals, and even tap their wells, while Trick Esports hits 13 and should be able to set up for an Immortal, but they catch Hasuo out of position, and Li Ming is taken out. She won't be available for 25 seconds.
The cooldown damage here ate the entire corruption. That was a big problem, and of course you are already isolated from the team. He was trying to escape, but there was no chance, and now Tricked again in the driver's seat. They have the 13 talent, they have the edge, they jump onto the Immortal immediately. Greymane on his way back now too. Li Ming still down, the staggered death hurting Team Liquid. They don't have the 13 yet either, but they're desperately trying to push Tricked away from the Immortal.
Team Liquid can't afford another death right now. They have to wait for Li Ming to get back. They do get 13 with Dahaka on the top, so they are on even footing, but they are behind half an Immortal here. Tricked Esports will take the opportunity to pull back, tap wells if need be, and grab their own merch to push in the top lane to slow down that Dahaka.
It is insane what's happening here. After Liquid dominated the early games in the season, after Dignitas lost a few, everybody was already talking about the Western Clash. Well, Team Liquid is supposed to win game XYZ, same for Fnatic, but here comes one upset after another. Trick takes down an Uberak. They are 2-0 against Team Liquid in the series, and they just continue to dominate. Darkmok gets the palm, doesn't get triggered. Coordination is crazy good. He jumps into Alex, who attempts to lock him down. That's the death of Malthael, and he's not the only one. Charism has fallen too. Gnappa survives. Here comes a friendly hook as Rema is just throwing them out left and right. Trick is completely off the hook here, off the roll. It's insane.
They have no intention of slowing down either. They go straight for the Immortal. They have the top lane pushing. Arthas is already positioning aggressively on the opposing Immortal to make sure they get every sliver of health possible. Now, I guarantee going into the next fight, they're going to be a bit more careful here and make sure Malthael doesn't jump right on top of them. But this should be a keep for them, easily.
And a lot of this, what we're seeing with the playstyle, with the decisiveness and the aggression. If you would hit the team names and the player names, I would, when you tell me this is, or if you would hit the player names for me, I would tell you that Trick is Liquid. This is the aggression that we usually see from Liquid. These snap decisions, seeing an opportunity, jumping on it, decisive, aggressive, and super fast with good coordination. Trick is playing fantastic here right now.
That they are, and they're grouping as 5, pushing in the top of the Immortal phase, looking for 16. Rimmer in particular is looking for these hooks on Blumby, any target. I'm watching Nape. I want to make sure he's next to his teammates here because he has a stun available and the Divine Storm to land the combo they've been trying to get.
Those hooks on Rema, they are shaking everything up here and make it so difficult for Team Liquid to have any defense here. Horrify does not have the effect that they wanted. They didn't get someone isolated for the potential kill, and Trick is not on 16 yet. That's a chance for Team Liquid, and they're trying to take it. They're going in deep. They're going immediately for the Cocoon and try to use it. Splendor, on the other hand, is already low, and so is Blumby. Both of them are incredibly close to dying. Here comes the Palm. Stun comes out, not in time to prevent the Palm. It procs, but Charism is dead.
Charism does fall, and more are looking to fall as well. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade so far, and Hasselhoff is starting to pop off here. He's looking for an extra kill. Can he get the Calamity off? He's going to get Crosby killed off. Looking at Alex approaching now as well. Alex comes out with a Howling Blast, and Nape's on the side. Rimmer as well helping in the fight. Well, the Immortal has started to hit the core.
We have another deadly Ming is down. The Immortal is still on the core, down to 70%. Norok slowed and is about to be taken out. Uses the burrow, but it's not enough. Dartmok tries to take the Immortal down and will succeed, but it doesn't matter anymore. Tricked is on the core. They take their game. This is Tricked eSports taking down the favorite, taking down Team Liquid without dropping a single map.
Let that sit for a little bit. Tricked eSports just came out and 3-0'd Team Liquid. A team that for the last couple of weeks, we don't know where they sit in our standings. And they take out a top 3 team and they look dominant doing it every single game.
At 3-0.
I mean, listen to the interview from Alex Aproji earlier that we had, where he literally said, we're probably not going to win. We probably have a couple of cheeses. We'll try and get some victories, but realistically, this is not achievable for us. They themselves didn't think they would come out here and have this dominant of a performance.
They lost to the Ducks. They barely won against Expert, and they got obliterated by Fnatic. This is the cleanest victory they had in the entire season against Team Liquid of all teams.
Not a bad time to really pull that off, eh?
Not a bad time to be a Tricked eSports fan. That was crazy.
That was completely crazy here from Tricked eSports. I'm actually still shocked they pulled it off. And we are lucky enough to actually be getting their new member on the phone pretty soon here. We're going to talk to Make himself and get his thoughts. First off, you're coming in into a new roster. You're a new guy, and you and the entire team come out, and you get a victory over Team Liquid. He has to be feeling great right now.
I mean, think about how this entire season started. We came into the season and we said, Tricked, what did they just do? They gave up Eternal, who is a fantastic player and who basically everyone said, within Tricked and outside of them, just from the stats, he is better than Make. The reason why they switched players was mainly because they said Eternal just doesn't fit into the team because he plays different heroes. We need different roles there. We just need someone else. And he found a great home with the Ducks. So we all expected Trick to struggle at the beginning of the season. They said from the start, hey, we just need to make sure we get the synergy here together. And we know we can be strong maybe in the second half, a little bit later. But for now, we expect to have a rough time. And they look good from the get-go. Yes, they lose without taking a map against Fnatic, but Fnatic, the mid-season champion, they are just looking fantastic right now in their games. And then you see Tricked looking strong in all the games right now. Like, yeah, it just works. We're having fun, and Make fits in just a lot better than we thought already this early on, but we're not there just yet. And now they're 3-0 Liquid. How strong is this team? I still don't know.
I don't know. And the thing is like the Western Clash race becomes a major race for all of our teams right now. Like, this is actually a big series that I expected Team Liquid to get an easy victory off of, or at least a 3-1, right? And now suddenly all of our teams that are in the bottom 5, they actually have tangible goals here to chase forward and get in the top 3. And it looks like I actually do have Make on the phone. Make, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. How do you feel? You guys just 3-0 Team Liquid.
We're feeling really good right now. We're super excited and we're super happy, and yeah, everything is really good right now.
I mean, we heard Alex from Proji, we heard his perspective, but he's a little cynical sometimes. Did you guys think that the rest of the roster, did you guys believe that you could come out and at least put up a good showing against Team Liquid?
Absolutely. Like, I think we have a lot of potential. The results has not been showing how I feel like we're playing. Mm-hmm. And I think we had a chance, but I don't think we thought we would 3-0 them.
Well, no, congratulations on your victory. I'm going to send you over to Caldor. I'm still in shock, guys, so congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
So first of all, congratulations, guys. Second of all, I like the dirty grin of Nup in the background the entire time. So he's apparently enjoying that score.
Yeah.
I would really like to know how you currently feel in the team. We just talked a bit about how at the beginning of the season there was a lot of talk about you guys need to grow as a unit first. But you looked strong at the beginning of the season. And you just 3-0'd Liquid. So how do you feel in the team right now, and where do you think that Tricked eSports stands at this point? What's your power level?
I think we're really strong when we show up. When we're performing and we're feeling good, we're really strong. And right now, like we're 3 of us in a team house. We're bonding, we're going out, you know, we're having fun as a team, and I think that's really important. And I think we're growing as a team, like every day.
I saw on Twitter that Knappe is cooking for you guys. Is it actually any good, or do you just eat it because you like him?
No, I took the photo. I was the one cooking, but like we're having a good time here. And like shout out to Tricked, they're amazing. Like their sponsor, they've been super nice, and like they're really nice.
How long have you guys been in the team house so far? Do you think that played a big role of your victory today?
We've been here how many days? 5 days. So we haven't been here for too long, but like yes, I think just based on our scrims the last days, I think we're doing better and better like every day. And I think all of us are like, we are happy with the team as it is, and I think everyone is happy to have this roster.
All right, thank you very much. Sounds awesome.
Well, Make, we are happy for you. And before I let you go, you have the floor for shoutouts. I know you already started calling out your sponsor, Trick Esports and such, but
yeah.
do you have any more?
Shout out to all the fans in the Twitch chat. Get Tricked, yeah, and shout out to Tricked, and shout out to all my friends and family and everyone watching.
Awesome.
Big shout out to my team as well.
Perfect. Congratulations. Yeah. Big shout out to the team. Make, very happy with his victory today. And huge congratulations to them, man. Absolutely outstanding victory. And they'll be facing off against good guys next weekend. If they could take on Team Liquid, everyone else should be a little bit on the scared side.
It's really hard to not like these guys.
Yeah. That's my first time actually getting FaceTime with Make before. And like 2 words in, I'm like, I like this guy. He's pretty cool.
And then you have Knappe just sitting in the background the entire time making faces. But no, they seem to have a lot of fun there. And whenever you have one of these guys in an interview, it's just fantastic. You have Alex, who's very vocal, very dry as well. He's just like, yeah, we ran it down mid, we griefed the entire series. And he just talks about himself, that he needs to improve. Then you have these guys having fun at Team House. I still don't. We are 4 games in on Tricked, and I still have no idea how strong they are. I still don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and get more information as we check our other teams after this commercial break. We'll be right back, and we'll be able to check out Team Expert as they take on the Playing Ducks.
The eternal